Hello, sorry, I couldn't find my headphones. Couldn't find my headphones. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I have to do at least one more box after this, but I need to stream. I am so stressed. I am having almost exclusively stress dreams, and it sucks. Oh, I didn't try to. Okay, we have to fix some things because OBS is annoying. So open that, and then I have to. Alright, this is just gonna have to. What is this? It's text. Okay. And then it's read from file. Well, let me do this so we're not looking at this. Oh my god, it reset again? This must be the size it opens at for my computer now. So, I'm gonna have to resize all my... I think I'm just gonna resize all my stuff. Which is super annoying. Oh, okay, give me a sec. Let me... Everything is going wrong. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. I'm sorry. I should have done this before, but like I said, I've been very busy. Okay, I have to open up a different thing, get the info from that, take a picture of it. My headphones don't stretch far enough for me to take a picture of it. Hi guys. Okay. What size is this? We'll fix it after. This is way too loud. We'll fix it in a sec. Just the... I remember from last time, the... whatever is shockingly loud. Everything is so loud, and I am so stressed. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. This is like not... I should have done this before, but you know. Where is this button? Did it just come... There. Outline 100%, outline size 10. Oh, it looks really bad when you zoom in all the way, huh? Okay. This is like the least important thing, but it's completely broken with the Nancy one, and it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't fix it. Okay, great. Now we have to reset all of these. Again, I feel like we've done this every single time. How do I remove these? Remove. Window capture. There, okay. Layton. What button is it? Is it Alt? Oh god, shit. Okay, hold on. This is like not a screen where I can do this on because it's so dark. It's so dark. Their opening screen is really as dark as fucking possible. I wish there was like a line. I might actually be able to add in a line in the emulation. One sec. Is it under view? Ah, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Oh, shit. You don't want it to look like this. Don't separate windows. How do I undo that? Hold on, I broke my emulation. Is it this? It might be this. God damn it. Okay, okay, we're not touching it anymore. No more touching it. No more touching it. Hi, Hannah. We're doing this all again because once again, everything has broken. So we have to reset up everything. One of the dogs is barking. That helps a little. They have this stupid, like, decorations that make it really hard to see what I'm doing. I wish there were an easier way to do this. There just isn't. 32, 404, 30. Is this that much smaller of a screen? Might be. I feel like when I upload these VODs, I'm gonna have to remove all the time I spend fucking around with my setup, because I swear to God, we've done this like multiple streams in a row. Okay, cool. Okay, now we can play a video game. Alright, I hate that I actually have 2 saves of this now. That really bothers me. Is there any way to delete one? I would completely delete one if I could. I really don't like having multiple saves. I know people like to do that so they can go back to stuff, but it really bothers me. Alright, I have to fix the sound again, because I changed it. Alright, that should be good. Oh! Is this Maya? I think this is Maya. Well, so much for a fun evening at home. The Knights came and crashed our party. They were shouting all about a witch and a witch trial. Talk about coming out of left field. See, the really annoying thing about this the way Citra's currently set up is that there are 2 giant black bars. I'm actually gonna send a screenshot to the server. Like, when I say giant, I mean more of this screen is black bar than is game. And it really distracts me, but this is how it resets to, I guess. And I don't know how to fix that, so if I don't just use it this way every single time I reset, I open and close Citra, it's just like I have to redo it. I have to reformat it. But it's so annoying to look at because most of my screen is black bar right now. They arrested Espella and dragged her to the courthouse under suspicion of being one of those witches they mentioned. And if she's found guilty, well, you know, they'll only throw her into a pit of fire. They're joking, right? I don't remember what the fuck. Oh, were we about to go into this trial? Yes, okay. I was like, I don't know what we're doing. I want to go to bed so bad. I can't go to bed tonight. I mean, I can, but I really shouldn't. Okay, what we saw tonight. Did I raid these yet? No.
The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance.
Their voices are all gonna be different. We'll live with it. Who is adding me? Oh, this isn't relevant to anything. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? Okay, sorry. Somebody pinged me in a server I haven't talked in literal years, so I don't think that was on purpose. That's awkward. Sorry about the goat.
Mugs grabbed the little girl by the arm. It looked like he was pushed her to the ground. I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames.
There's not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used.
Who are they tagging? How did they even tag me? Sorry, I'm just so confused by this. Yeah, it won't work. It looks like that's it for their testimonies. It was really confusing. I think it was just one of those situations where, like, usually it's like if you're typing, like, I think maybe they were typing a P. Do I have a P in my nickname in there, and that's how that happened? I think that's it. Because I think the name of the person who tagged me starts with a P. So like in the server Ronnie and I used to stream in, Ronnie's nickname is not Ronnie, but I gave them a role that was Ronnie, because instead of tagging them, I kept tagging other people, because I just hit R and then enter. Okay, I think I figured that out. It's bothering me slightly less now.
Nick, are you feeling okay? You've never, cross-examined anyone before?
Up until now, my life has been all about baking. Kneading dough, rolling it, baking it, day after day, the same thing. This trial isn't any different from baking. These witnesses, they're all just kind of like fresh dough.
Sure. If this is how he wants to cope, sure.
Whatever you say, that makes literally no sense. It's our job to roll out the contradictions and bake their testimony into something this court can stomach. I'm just gonna roll with you, buddy.
If a spell is innocent, then there has to be a contradiction somewhere in these testimonies. And when I find it, I'm really gonna crank up the heat.
They really committed to these puns.
First things first, I've got to gather as much information as possible.
Okay, let's just press all. The way I did this was I've told you before, I just pressed everything. So, you know, that means I can't remember what you actually press.
Mugs was one of the two rogues. Is that correct?
What the fuck am I clicking? Not the right thing, that's for sure. One sec, sorry. Now other people are messaging me. I need to check this to make sure it's not important. Okay, cool. I'm done. That's not important. None of this is important. I want to go to bed.
That's right. That man, he grabbed the girl's arm and pulled out a knife.
Is something wrong?
Or was it Robs that grabbed the girl and held the knife?
Have I been doing accents? Whatever.
Huh?
Oh dear. Now let's see. Muggs was the short one, and Robs was the... Oh, no, I think it was the other way around. Well, it doesn't really matter which was which now, does it? How am I supposed to keep track of these ruffians?
No one was asking you to.
God, what was his voice? I don't know.
For the record, Muggs was the short one.
Hold it!
Exactly whose cry did you hear?
Well, it was the accused. It was a speller's voice, no doubt about it.
So, do you know Miss Cantabella?
Yeah, everyone knows her. Her name is pretty familiar around here.
I wonder why that is.
So many reasons.
After hearing her cry, I turned around and that's when I saw it.
The two of them being swallowed up by the flames, you mean?
I have never, ever in my life witnessed another sight so dreadful as that.
Great, thank you, Kira.
Hold it!
Isn't it a bit premature to assume it was magic? What an absurd statement. Say what? Think about it. The knives were engulfed in flames in the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye. There was not a single trace of any other fire source to be found in the area. Not a trace. Therefore, there is only one true explanation as to what caused that inferno. And what would that be? Let me guess. Magic, right? There's no crime in simply not knowing, but refusing to accept the plain truth. There lies the true crime, Sir Prentice Baker. That is quite the crime indeed, Defender. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just have to find a contradiction in this testimony.
No way! A speller can't be a witch!
It looks like that's it for their testimonies.
Nick, are you feeling okay? You've never cross-examined anyone before. Oh wait, we already did this. Oh, this is just the end of this is just the... Okay, so I don't think we pressed the first guy. Wordsmith.
Hold it!
What time would that be? Exactly.
Dinner time? When else would the scent of dinner be in the air if not dinner time? Do you see?
Not so much. The sun had already set by that time. That would be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight. Is that correct?
I have been dubbed a witness. Thus, I must clearly have witnessed something. Oh no. Do you see?
This kind of voice makes me yawn. In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at that time?
Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see?
No, that doesn't add up.
So I should have pressed this guy. This was the one person I was like, I probably don't need to press that guy. Foolish. I even knew that it's like we have to realize that Kira needs glasses. Come on.
If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see?
Nevertheless, something caught my eye. Oh no! It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what the sight was.
Okay. I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
Okay. You do that too? Poor form, Sir Prentice Baker. I hate to disappoint you, but there was, in fact, light in the area. Huh? Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witnesses' accounts as penned by the court illustrator. The court illustrator? I've never heard of that before. Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder.
illustration of the highest quality, as usual. Now then, we have established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. And so, naturally, the defendant was carrying a fire-lit lantern, as we can see here.
That no one mentioned in their testimonies.
A lantern? Eureka! Indeed! Yes, that is what I was saying earlier. There was a lantern, I say.
Oh, please. You totally forgot.
To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... My lord, here's the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area. Very well, the court accepts this into evidence.
The lantern had his court record.
Speaking of which, Inspector Barnum, this drawing. The accused seems to be holding a pit milk bucket of sorts. What became of this?
I like how I should have just pressed this first.
That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene.
The milk bucket disappeared, you say?
There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make off with the items they find on the ground.
Great. Wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in that forest.
This is great, Nick. We got new evidence now. And the wolves steal milk.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
You know, Nick, you really don't look like just some normal, run-of-the-mill baker. Your outfit is really weird. I'd say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might even have a knack for being a defender.
There's a clear contradiction somewhere in that testimony, and I'm gonna find it and apparently not comment on what Maya was saying.
Objection!
What is the matter, defender?
Phoenix! Focus!
What is this feeling?
I was going to reference Wicked, but the lights in the background are fucked up again.
I just felt the urge to shout out, right from the bottom of my lungs, while pointing my finger.
This is so funny.
Objection. I can't help but feel that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything. The Legal League of Attorneys Exchange, Spella's trial, and then that strange book. This feeling. I feel like I can take on the world.
Witness, I'm gonna just keep pointing at you. I'm just gonna keep doing it.
What's with this sudden pointing? I'm a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I'll accept your challenge. Have at you. You say that no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case.
Why am I getting text messages?
What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker?
My siblings are trying to figure out Christmas presents. That's what's happening.
What I mean is that the defendant was in fact carrying a lantern containing fire. Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside the lantern. That is the only logical explanation.
They're just like, okay.
My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. What do you mean? The only logical explanation? Do you agree with this statement, honorable witnesses?
It is presumptuous for a man to know who knows nothing, to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing.
Huh?
Besides, how can one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set both of them ablaze like that? There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast?
Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something?
Oh.
Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would seem you have bitten off more than you can chew.
Why is that in red? Is it supposed to be a baker pun? It's not a very good one.
I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on the proceedings thus far?
Given the testimony as we've heard it, this court has come to its conclusion. 'Twas truly a gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could be held responsible. The nefarious crime of magic.
God, it's so broken.
Hold it!
Was it like this on Tony's stream? I can't remember.
Wait just a second.
Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender?
Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, you just said magic. That can't be right, can it? What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of this world, is it not?
Well, yeah. May seem to be the case. But no way is that this is too loud now. But no way is that actually possible.
This court finds Spella Cantabella, the accused, charged with being a witch.
Spella? A witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself.
The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire.
No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch.
Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Objection!
But there's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used.
Put a sock in it, bread boy. We all heard her cast the spell.
Huh?
That's right. Snowy and I heard it. Isn't that right, Precious? We heard that incantation quite clearly. That frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was a Spella's voice.
Her voice is changing rapidly. We'll deal.
These ears do no lie. I clearly heard an incantation most sinister.
Ignazy. Is that how we were saying it? Ignazy? Or Ignaze? Ignaze. Whatever.
It went. Incantation.
I don't know how to say that.
It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy, otherworldly court. Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections.
This is too loud for me on my end. It's also already very quiet, but it's too loud.
It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer.
Nick, you have to do something.
I know, but what exactly can we say? Here, in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless. Oh no!
This court is
Hello?
ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
Sorry, I got really distracted by whatever the fuck is going on in the background.
Hold it.
Okay, once Layton does his thing, I wanted to say something. Hi, buddy! He's here! They're
Your
both
Honor,
here.
I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
Luke just has an
I have
angry
something
face
I
right
believe
now.
will be of
He's also
use to the
completely
defense.
covered by the
A
text
weapon
box,
of
which is
sorts.
very funny.
That's the Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages. Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses. I can't see shit.
The Grand Grimoire.
Everyone's behind this fucking bench. Alright, before I read this, I did want to say, it's kind of weird that Phoenix has this realization, and we don't see anything of, like, Maya remembering. Like, it's just implied that she remembered at the same time as Phoenix. And so, when he had that line that was like, our logic doesn't work in this world, I kind of wanted her to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because why would Phoenix yelling objection, like, presumably he remembers when he yells objection, because that's just, like, integral to who he is as a person, you know? But, like, that's not true for Maya. So I'm curious what would actually trigger her, and I also think it would be more interesting if she was like, hey Nick, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway. He is so little. That was actually my problem with drawing my Labyrinthia piece. Luke is really fucking tiny. I was like, this guy is not above the bench.
We meet again, Mr. Wright. Well now, it seems things are already afoot here, although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared?
So, are you here to help us?
Of course. The professor always helps people in trouble.
Don't think about it too much.
It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor?
Professor?
There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action.
And a time for Layton to just fucking run away.
Right. Okay.
You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I am a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its system of magic.
I love the system in quotations because the system of magic in this game sucks fucking ass. And like I've said before, if this was a real magic system, I would be fucking pissed. Both like in universe and as like someone playing this game, I would be like, since you don't find out it's fake until pretty late in, I think if I hadn't known going into it, I would have been even madder. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the hell up, you have 2 spells.
Yeah. How can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story.
Is that so?
I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker. And, well, how magic can't really exist.
I fucking love this. This is absolutely hilarious because, like, it is still, it's Ace Attorney's approach to, like, magic, quote unquote, is so funny. Like, of course, this is still, like, first trilogy, but, like, bitch, Maya channels spirits. What do you call that? Is that not a form of, what is that? Is that not a form of magic? Like, what is it? Genuinely, what is that? What if magic can't really exist, then what actually do you consider spirit channeling? Like, genuinely, what do you consider that? Because I would consider that like a kind of magic. What would you consider the Magatama? Like, what are the Psyche Locks? The Psyche Locks. What are they? Like, what is it? Mr. Phoenix Wright, answer the question. What is that if it's not magic? Hello? Only certain people get to be discrimination, and I'm limiting their magic because I said so. Eve tore this whole thing down not only because it's unethical, not only because it fucks over Espella, but also because she thinks his magic system is fucking stupid.
Well, then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not, in fact, a citizen of this town. Is that correct?
Right. At least, it seems that way.
However, for now we have no option but to accept this world and its rules as a reality. Without first understanding those rules, fine, I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Cantabella.
But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe.
Any commentary, Maya?
I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied.
We're gonna deny it real hard, though.
Indeed. That is why the Grand Grimoire...
Is it grimoire? Why did I already forget? I was so confident, and then I got most of the way through the word, and then I forgot. Because I say it wrong. We've had this conversation. Yeah, grimoire.
Is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment you are tantamount to a knight without a sword.
Hello.
I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually. Thank you.
Right then, Mr. Wright. I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works. Here, we're in more tutorial. Are you enjoying how to press the buttons on your Nintendo DS? Top screen, bottom screen. Use your stylus. Oh, that reminds me. I've gone ahead and bookmarked the spell Ignace for you. You're welcome.
God, Maya, you've been so quiet for so long.
Ignace. That's the magic spell all the witnesses said they heard, right? I guess I remember things now. Nick, you should take a look at that spell.
All I have to do... Okay, yes.
The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem the trial has reached its end.
Wait.
Is that understood, Sir Prentice Baker?
Ignace, Inferno spell. Summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. Requires an incantation and a scepter to cast.
This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt. The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustrations of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. This murder was the result of magic, and furthermore, the caster of said magic was none other than the accused. That, Sir Prentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled.
They were really proud of these, weren't they?
Is everything okay, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world.
Photos don't exist? I guess that makes sense. Ye old time period and all.
The sketch drawn by the court illustrator? Therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright.
My final chance? Fucking ominous.
I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration.
There's another contradiction? In that case, there's still hope I can turn this around.
Mr. Wright, you have to hurry. Look, the judge. He's menacingly hitting his gavel against his hand. He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now.
This is it. This is my last chance. What should I do?
Point out the contradiction, because I already know what it is.
1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
It's like, shut the fuck up, bread boy. You are already out of time. All testimony and evidence given thus far has been proven accurate.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. There's just one thing you've overlooked. A piece of evidence within this book. The Grand Grimoire.
The thing about Emmy being here, if they tried to capture her for being a witch, she would just, like, parkour her way, like, out. She would just leave. She'd just leave, you know? Like, she would just climb up on one of the buildings and find a way out. Like, are they hypnotized to not see and to, like, kind of, like, avoid instinctively, like, everything covered in the black material? Yes. I feel like she would somehow find it anyway. Like, she would somehow parkour off of it, which I don't think would help because everyone would think she was just more of a witch, but I do think she would find that entertaining. I do think she would find that very entertaining.
Absurd. I have looked something. You are the defender here. You should have examined the tome earlier. You're right. I should have. But I didn't. But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker until just now.
Such a funny line.
Interesting. You've certainly begun to show your true colors, Sir Blue Knight. The color is blue. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. Have at you. The defender will now show us his supposed contradiction. The court illustration in the Grand Grimoire. Grimoire. Somewhere there's a contradiction between those two. And I've got to find it.
This is my last chance. Okay, so I know it's the fact that she is not holding a scepter, so I don't know if it's one of her hands.
Then reveal to the court the location of this contradiction.
Alright, so let me save, because I might grab the wrong hand. They've got a manhunt for her, and she does not care. This is actually a fun activity. She gets to practice her hiding and camouflage, and also helps her lose a tail. See you in 10, Luke. Yeah. She's like, bye, Luke. I'm gonna grab us a snack. We're gonna try this hand. So we're gonna try this hand, and then if it doesn't work, we'll try the other.
Got it!
The contradiction is here. The hand of the accused. She appears to be holding a milk bucket.
Oh wait, this might be wrong.
Yes, but that milk bucket was said to have been vanished from the crime scene. It's quite possible, but there's an important reason behind its disappearance. What are your thoughts?
I don't think this is right. Was it the other hand?
Forest wolves simply came back and stole it.
Let us not dwell on the milk bucket for the time being, Mr. Wright.
No, I know what it is. Guys, it's just, I just chose the wrong fucking hand. I just chose the wrong hand. Leave me alone. That's what this is. This one is the hand, right? This one is that she's not holding a scepter.
Got it!
Okay, I think this might be right.
The contradiction is right here. The hand of the accused, she seems to be holding a lantern. What's your point? According to this tome...
Okay, but like... Why couldn't you choose either hand? This is one of those instances where, like, they're being, like, a little too picky for me because, like, she's got two fucking hands. And they're both carrying something. So you should be able to, maybe it's because we've already talked about the milk bucket, but I think you should be able to click either hand and still get it right. That's my hot take.
According to this tome, using the spell Ignaze requires the use of a witch's scepter, as well as an incantation. Isn't that right? Correct. For witches to use magic, they must be in possession of a witch's scepter, also known as a talia magica. If that's the case, then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Ms. Cantabella's hands. Tell me, do you see a witch's scepter in either of her hands?
So why couldn't I select the hand holding the bucket? Come on, man! Like, what is this?
There we go. Now let's see you point that sword at me now.
You did it, Mr. Wright.
That was not how you pronounce that.
But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious?
You may be right, Luke.
Huh?
It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well.
That's correct, Sir Apprentice Baker. But you should not underestimate me. This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? This right here is the very scepter you mentioned.
It's so big and unwieldy is the thing. It's like, not only do you only get 2 spells, you gotta carry this shit around everywhere in case you want to do a spell. My god. Like, here's the thing. I actually do enjoy I do sometimes, depends on who's writing it, when magic, has, a cost, whether it's, tiring, or there's some kind of effect, or if, you need, a lot of components for it, that's pretty common for witches, right? You need a bunch of ingredients. This just, it's ugly. It's just very this thing. Yeah, why be a witch when you can simply bludgeon a man? Emmy would see this in court when, if Emmy would be like, why didn't she just kill them with this? Why set someone on fire? And, it's so obvious, everyone would know you were a fucking witch. You can't hide this. Everyone would know you're a witch. Literally everyone would know. They would just see you with this giant fucking scepter and be like, oh, she's a witch. Just stab them with that. They can't prove it was magic. It was just you using the pointy end of something. Whatever.
Right here is the very scepter you mentioned. One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery on the side of the path. Ah, yes, indeed, that was I. I located it. My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing and it's said to be flying through the air. Somehow, I'm not surprised to hear you fell, Gramps. The scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air. Indeed, my lord. However, the scepter will only work while in the hands of a witch, with the incantation being said aloud.
Can we just test it then? Aw, that's too bad. I wanted to try lighting some stuff on fire.
Please don't look at me when you say that.
Maya's gonna do a little arson. Oh, hello, zoom in.
You can see there are 2 magic gems set in this spectre. Are you ready for the most annoying magic lesson of all time?
Magic gems? Looks like a red gem and a white gem.
These gems each contain a particular magic spell. This is stupid. By simply looking at these magic gems, one can easily determine which magic spell can be used.
Sometimes your power is turn things green. Crazy, right?
Nick! Quick, look at this page!
Oh, okay.
Is that the red magic gem? Indeed, the red gem you see here is the spell Ignaze. If you look carefully, you should notice that the scepter also has 1 more spell that can be used. 1 more spell? That must be the white gem. I'm so good at this.
Mr. Wright, I found it. Here's a spell for the white magic gem.
Demir. Oh, right, Emir. Oh, I forgot that guy was in this. Wow, how'd I forget about him? Crazy. Vanishing spell. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Simply chant Amir to make it reappear. Great. Causes anything the Yeah, we read it already. Ugh. I see you managed to work it out in that crusty head of yours. That's just... It can't be. The reason the witch's scepter couldn't be seen is because the magic spell Demir had made it disappear. That guy looks like he's about to launch a javelin.
That's right. In other words, the accused conjured a cowardly spell to camouflage her own use of magic. No. No way.
It's broken. It's so sad that, like, when it pulls out, you can see, like, Layton is next to Phoenix and Maya is between the professor and Luke. But then when we're, like, actually at the bench, like, you never see, like, you don't, like, you only see the professor or Luke, or you see Maya. Like, I would like to see the three of them standing together. I would like to see my pals standing together, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Order, order, order! Inquisitor Barnum, please submit the scepter into evidence.
Objection!
Oh, hold on, please. Is there a problem, Sir Baker? Okay, I understand that this is a witch's scepter. Looks like one of those things on a medical sign. However, whether or not the scepter was in Miss Cantabella's possession has not yet been proven.
Maya and Luke are playing like, they're playing like, war. They're playing Go Fish. They're, you know, they're just like hanging out. Luke is gonna pull out Uno.
What are you talking about, Apprentice Baker? Isn't it obvious? I'm talking about fingerprints.
Bitch, fingerprints aren't real here.
Supposing Ms. Cantabella did in fact handle this witch's scepter, then her fingerprints should be on it, and as everyone knows, they don't know anything about fingerprints.
They don't know shit. They don't even have ballistics. They don't even have guns. This also is infinitely funnier if Maya doesn't actually remember anything yet, and she's just like, what the fuck is a fingerprint? Yeah, we don't have the hands of the bullet.
What's with the silence? You said fingerprints? Inquisitor Barnum, tell me, just what is this Baker blabbering about?
Sorry, I thought I was gonna die. I'm almost out of my drink, so hopefully I'm fine.
I haven't the slightest clue, my lord. It is the Baker's first time in court, after all. Huh?
No! Not the disappointed head shake from the professor! Oh god! Can you imagine getting a disappointed head shake from the professor? I'd be torn between being like, this is it, like, I can't continue on from this moment, and also, like, kicking him in the shins and being like, you don't get to fucking judge me? Like, it would be, like, violently oscillating between, like, it's all over, and, no, fuck you. Like, you don't get to be disappointed in me. I'm disappointed right back at you, mister. You're the disappointment over here.
I'm afraid it's no use, Mr. Wright. In this world, it would seem the concept of fingerprinting does not yet exist.
What? But the fingerprints, how do they know about the ballistics?
If they don't have fingerprints, then how do you understand ballistics? And the professor's like,
Mr. Wright, they don't have guns.
I can't believe it. Fuck, man. How do you disappoint 3 whole different children? Real easily, apparently. He did it with ease. No effort, that's how.
As I have said already, best you head back to the bakery, lest you continue to serve this court more of your half-baked ideas.
They're about as half-baked as your terrible puns, Barnum.
Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world in which witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating.
What the heck? There are just way too many things I don't know about this world. Which, okay, I'm curious if this is just because Phoenix has only been here for like a couple days, and like he would have just like seen more of her time and better understood it as time went on. Like, I don't think they like didn't give him this information because it probably wasn't super relevant to him, and they maybe didn't want to give it as much to him so he wouldn't be meddling. It just feels like no, but they also like implanted enough in him that he thought he was a resident, so it is like a little weird that he's like, you know, like Luke and Layton don't have any memories of this world, but Phoenix and Maya have some. So I feel like they should grasp some of this, if that makes sense. Maybe not like all the magic stuff, but like maybe he just needs like, not like a I don't understand this world, but like, right, I fucking forgot. More of like, oh, I remembered that there are fingerprints. I forgot that no one else knows. You know, more of just like a it slipped my mind thing to him being like, I don't understand it. Like, you lived here in, like, you didn't, but like, you know what I mean? We all understand what I'm trying to say. I'm failing to say it well, but like, it's a little bit abstract, so.
I believe you may be able to take these things you don't know and use them to your advantage.
Phoenix and Maya should yeah, I think that they should have a slight upper hand. That would make sense to me. Huh?
The Inquisition believes there is no room for debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal her magic. Better luck next time, apprentice baker. Mayhaps your loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths.
If your bread is bitter, you are doing something horribly wrong.
Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I ask you render your unwavering verdict.
Objection.
You're on the other side! Stop moving around, you goof!
Pardon the interruption. May I have a word, Inquisitor Barnum?
What's that? Who might you be?
So when he's next to Phoenix, his head looks so fucking big. Like, I think it's because they also moved him slightly closer, but his proportions look even more off compared to Phoenix when, like, he is closer to the camera. Like, I really wish they had stylized them, like, a little bit more one way or the other. It didn't even have to be, like, the full stylization, even though, like, I enjoy both of those designs. Just, like, a little bit more in both directions, I think, which might be a little uncanny for Layton, but it is so weird. I think they would have had to stylize Phoenix and Maya, but I think they should have done it, because it does look goofy at times when they're standing next to each other. Looks goofy as hell. Oh, man.
My name is Herschel Layton, and I am a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm what you believe happened on the night of the crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through the use of magic, is that correct? Indeed, the magic of the smell, Beldemere. If possible, would you mind providing proof on this particular claim? Because I believe the word...
Is that just heresy? Is that... What is heresy? No, I meant in law. Not against the Bible. Not against the Bible, I meant in law. Still not the Bible! It's only telling me about Christianity! Maybe it's just an he's just saying shit with no evidence. And I know there's a word for that, but I don't know what it is. That's what it feels like, Hannah. I feel like the pictures we use for evidence and stuff should have been more Layton style, though I understand why they brainstormed it the way they did with how much it became DGS Foundations. Yeah, it's weird because a lot of the style is way more... I would say... How do I put this? So a lot of the puzzles people said that this was more of an Ace Attorney game because you can't skip the trial parts, but you can skip a lot of the puzzles, which is fair. But... So I think, like, gameplay-wise, there's probably a little bit more Ace Attorney, and they tried new things that they weren't trying really many new things with Layton. And then style-wise, it's a little bit more Layton. No, style-wise, it's a little more Ace Attorney. Music-wise, it's a little more Layton. And story-wise, this is definitely more Layton. I think that's probably how I would split that up. I wish they had stylized it a little bit more, because I very much enjoy the Layton style. Every time I look at Barnum, I'm like, he looks like one of the anime guys with swords that we always see in Nintendo Switch stuff. Like, you know, when we just start counting, like, how many anime guys with swords we'll see? That's what Barnum looks like. He looks like is it Final Fantasy? Or... the other one? I don't know. He just looks like a dude with a sword, okay? He just looks like he is. He's just a dude with a sword. You know? Anyway. Can you tell I'm really tired? Fire Emblem, thank you. That's it. I was like, there's an F, and then maybe there's another F, and then there's maybe a vowel. Maybe there's some Roman numerals. I don't know. I don't play video games.
What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, there is one possibility.
I think Maya and Luke, whenever we don't see them, are actually under the desk. I think they're under the desk.
However, a wise man must always consider every possibility. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual hat?
They're doing story time under there.
The Inquisition cannot honor this request for proof. If you are asserting that the accused is not a witch, then the burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Come on, it's the It's the Inquisition's job to prove that a crime was committed.
Does the UK? Well, no, they're in Labyrinthia. It doesn't matter. I was gonna say, do they have innocent until proven guilty? But it doesn't fucking matter. Oh, he's back.
As I thought, indeed, it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. How regrettable, Sir Prentice Baker, and you, Sir Dark Hat.
God, it looks so shit. Hey, Knightley, shut up for a second. If we were not already several hours into this, I would get a new copy. And I would get a new copy. Like, straight up, I would. If we were not already, like, 8 or 9 hours into this playthrough. Because it is... The lighting is driving me absolutely bonkers. Anyway.
Inquisitor Barnum, sir, should you stand ready to lend my testimony?
Would anyone care to purchase any pre-testimony flowers? I've got a lovely array of bewitching lilies. Snowy and I will not be dismissed so easily. We came here to dispose the identity of this witch. Isn't that right, Precious?
A witch's scepter, you say? Yes, yes, I know of such a scepter. Not spectre. Oh. Allow me to elucidate the matter.
Where did Luke go? What do you think, Inquisitor Barnum? Your witnesses appear to have something to say on the subject.
Very well.
Bitch, if you're just gonna keep pulling it out, stop putting it away.
Most honorable witnesses, I grant your request to testify once more. Tell the court all you know regarding this Talia Magica. Well, we've somehow managed to keep the trial going. I owe you one, Sir Darkhat.
He's back.
Please, Mr. Wright, Mr. Layton will suffice for the time being.
When I saw her, the witch was carrying a large milk bucket in one hand and a lantern in the other.
The girl had the lantern hanging from her wrist. Her hand was contorted in a strange way.
I got a good look at her hand, and it looked sad she was gripping something. Why can I not get a voice for Kira down? It's driving me nuts.
The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once before she was apprehended. I see. The accused's hand was contorted in a strange way. I do believe this is quite an important piece of testimony.
I saw it. I most certainly saw it. She was holding an invisible spectre. Scepter. Fuck. We saw it too. It was the girl up there, without a doubt.
I as well. These old eyes don't see as well as they once did, but I witnessed the hazy, blurry form of the accused quite clearly.
Don't tell the court you're blind.
My eyesight is as sharp as the edge of my trusty blade, which is very wobbly.
A toy sword. How fascinating. Although I wonder if he understands the implication of that analogy on his vision.
Sir Baker, you may proceed with your interrogation.
Mr. Layton's given me another chance. I can't let it go to waste.
God, my lips are so dry. Ow. Saw her, large milk bucket and a lantern in the other.
Hold it!
The large lantern you mentioned...
Lantern?
The large lantern you mentioned is this one, correct?
There's no mistaking it. That fiendish form with its case darker than the darkest of nights, that was the lantern.
It's just a normal lantern.
What is this? It would seem the glass is shattered. And there seems to be a sizable amount of mud stuck to it.
On closer inspection, it appears the mud has stuck to the broken sections of glass. Most intriguing.
So then, when exactly did the lantern get mud all over it?
By the way, witness, you also saw a milk bucket, is that right?
Indeed, I would bet my sword on it.
And yet, that milk bucket mysteriously vanished from the scene of the crime. And everyone keeps blaming the fucking wolves.
This is actually how we tie in Lang. If anyone's curious. This is how we get Lang in the mix. This is how we get Lang in the mix. 'Twas the singular wolf. Just one. Just a single wolf. Sorry if you heard something. I needed to stand for a second and for a few minutes and had to move my thing. You know, Nikki, it's going. I am slow at this as always.
How many times must I say it, Sir Apprentice Baker? The problem is the black lantern.
No, I don't want to present. I just want to look at it. Hey, Hannah, you're the one with the timeline. Would this have happened before AAI 2? Well, and AAI, that, you know. But this has happened. When did this... This happened before, right? I think this happened before. Unless you're pretending that this... No, because Phoenix gets disbarred pretty soon after A3, doesn't he? I haven't looked at the timeline in a second. That's not my job. Can I... Okay, I can't look at that closer. Details! Oh, I love when they give me this to do nothing with. They said zoom in on nothing. Can you imagine how fucking funny it would be if Phoenix met Lang first because of some, like, absolute nonsense in Labyrinthia? That would be so funny. Miles is like, I'm gonna introduce you to someone, and because he wants to introduce, like, Lang and Phoenix at some point during the 7-year gap, right? and Phoenix is like, oh shit! Hey! It would just be really funny. Miles is like, I'm gonna introduce you to someone, except Phoenix is like, oh yeah, no, we met after the weirdest fucking week and a half of my life. Yeah, I know that furry. Looked for certain she was gripping something. The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once before she was apprehended. This might be one where I have to press them all again. It's fine. Let me get this straight. There was no way for you to see this invisible scepter, was there? Well, now that's common sense, boy. One cannot see what is not there to be seen. In that case, there was also no way you could tell whether or not she might have dropped the scepter. Well, these old eyes of mine held in on her hand like a hawk, until they couldn't see straight. The young lady was most certainly holding an invisible scepter in her right hand, while at the same time also carrying the lantern. Or do you perhaps possess some piece of evidence to suggest she dropped the scepter? There hasn't been any evidence such far to suggest Espella was holding the scepter.
Evidence suggesting the scepter was dropped. Now that is an interesting idea.
Huh?
If Espella did not have the scepter in her hand, it would be...
Well, okay. I was like, what's happening? Who fish? I want to see what this is. What am I looking at? So real. Fun fact. 10 people have bought this in the last 24 hours. This is a hot commodity. This is a bestseller, Nikki. This is great. This has hand hook car door. Wait, what is it? Hand hook man door. You know what? That one. Haley always says it on our podcast, and she almost always gets it wrong. What is it? Hand hook car door. Yeah, man door, hand hook, car door. For some reason, that gives me similar vibes in the he day teach fish man to a lifetime. This is really good, actually. I kind of love this. Anyway, Ace Attorney.
If Espella did not have the scepter in her hand, it would have been impossible for her to have used any magic.
Trucy would buy this for Phoenix. You're right.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't suppose. Might there be a piece of evidence that could prove this?
Yeah, the lantern, right?
Something to prove that Espella was not holding the scepter at the time of the murder.
In other words, evidence to show that even if Espella had been holding the scepter, she would have dropped it.
Is everything all right, Mr. Wright? The truth about what happened in that brief instant will likely decide Espella's fate.
I have to do everything I can to find a contradiction in these testimonies. Guess I should take another look at the court record.
So do I just have to present that one on his? Let's do a save.
Objection!
Great, let me grab my drink. My second drink, the one in my bedroom. Because I ran out of the first drink and my throat is hoarse. Who actually is his VA in this one? Professor Phoenix Wright, voice actors, English. IMDb. It is Trevor White, who was in Doctor Who for one episode, Downton Abbey for one episode, The Dark Knight Rises, Industry, Open Call. I don't know any of these things. Well, I mean, I know Doctor Who, obviously. Wasn't watching it 2018, though. Yeah, I don't know this shit. This is just some dude. It's just some dude. Rodfather. Oh, man. Where's the fish, indeed?
There's a high probability that Miss Cantabella was not holding the scepter. But if, for the sake of argument, she had been holding it, she would undoubtedly have dropped it at the time of the incident. What do you mean? What I mean, Inquisitor Barnum, is that this lantern proves the defendant was not holding the scepter.
Objection!
What foolishness are you spouting, Sir Apprentice Baker? The lantern's handle was around the accused's wrist.
Objection!
Meaning she could have held the scepter? I'm afraid that's not the problem here, Inquisitor Barnum. The problem is with the broken glass, and the mud plastered all over it. What? The rain had ended just as the murder was taking place. That would make the path fairly muddy, don't you agree? When the thieves grabbed Miss Cantabella by the arm, the lantern must have fallen into the mud.
The lantern fell into the mud.
That wasn't his voice, but it's fine.
Why, of course, that makes sense, doesn't it, my little snowy wowie?
But what'd you say, Inquisitor Barnum? If she was holding the scepter at that time. That would mean that when she dropped the lantern, the scepter would have fallen along with it. So glad we had someone render this one screen.
What's going on? Inquisitor Barnum seems speechless.
A defenders managed to turn the thing around, even though he's just some baker.
No way. Pay the witch's accomplices no heed. They're just trying to trick you.
Barnum, 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 boo chanting.
That? Just what is this?
One moment, please.
I fucking love Phoenix's Baker arc. That's why I screenshotted the one from last week and tossed it in the chat. Or the other week, whenever the hell I did that. Because him saying, I'm just a simple bread-making baker living a simple bread-making life. It's, like, so funny and so real. I was a really big fan of Phoenix being a baker before I knew, like, he canonically was briefly a baker. So this is everything to me. This game is canon as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe level 5 or Capcom when they say it isn't. I know in my heart this shit is canon. Canon to me. I'm in the wrong screen.
Everyone, please listen. Didn't we all just stand here and explain to the court what we clearly saw? It's a lantern. So what? What's so special about it? Explain it to me so I can understand.
So that you can understand? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious just by looking at it.
Mr. Wright.
That was a weird voice. What is it, Mr. Layton?
There is something about this witness.
Yeah, no shit. Gonna pop right over to the other side really quick.
Ms. Kira, was it? Tell me, Miss Kira. How good is your eyesight exactly?
Huh?
As you just heard Mr. Wright explain, the answer to your query is quite obvious at a glance. Tell me, are you able to see the mud present on this lantern?
Mud? What mud? What are you talking about?
Your Honor, did you hear that just now?
Yes indeed. What does it mean exactly?
It means that Miss Kira's poor eyesight is the reason she cannot see the mud present on this lantern. In other words, the validity of Miss Kira's testimony is questionable at best.
Not the broken lights, not the broken lights!
Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this? What say you in your defense, witness? I highly recommend you give us nothing but the truth.
I'm sorry, Inquisitor Barnum. It's true. I need to wear glasses. All the time, in fact.
You need to wear glasses?
Now that you mention it, I did notice something odd about you today.
Sorry, that was really high. I don't know if my filter works, so...
What? Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Gone is the mist that clouded my mind. In its place, clarity. Fair maiden, a pair of spectacles are as valuable as a shield to a knight. Make haste and procure another pair.
Now then, Miss Kira, at the time of the incident, were you wearing your glasses?
No, I was not wearing them. The truth is, I lost my glasses a couple of days ago.
You lost them. So, her glasses were missing during the time of the incident.
Mr. Wright, may I recommend that you keep note of this fact? It could prove useful later.
Yeah, got it. Like, obviously, Professor, thanks.
Am I to believe there is nothing left to prove on this matter? At the time of the murder, the accused did not have a witch's scepter in her possession.
Oh, it looks so fucking ugly.
Wait just a moment. Snowy and I have much more left to say.
That's right. My trusty sword of justice shall cut through this witch's treacherous lies.
I may have lost my glasses, but I haven't lost my will to testify.
Girl, my favorite thing about Ace Attorney witnesses is when they're like, yes, I've lied about everything, and I'm just making shit up, but, like, I'm gonna tell the truth now, I promise. And, like, obviously Kira did it, so, like, she's the witch in this one. So, like, you know, like... I just, like, it's always very funny when they're like, I'm gonna tell the truth now. And it's like, bitch, you're supposed to tell the truth the whole time. They're like, actually, I've decided. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna give you new evidence. I'm gonna give you new evidence. And I'm gonna give you new testimony that contradicts everything that I've said previously. It's like, you all suck so much. Perjury, all of you. All of you.
Eureka! I remember now. Old age is a way of sneaking up on me. I'm sure you must understand.
Oh yeah, sorry, they just did a little oopsie. They'll be fine. It's whatever. Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, I understand. I understand you're all completely ridiculous. Phoenix is so fed up with this shit. Sorry, I'm organizing stickers while I do this for some reason.
It would seem we've not yet arrived at a clear-cut verdict.
Jesus Christ, I almost dropped him in my drink.
Witness, you may once again begin to testify to the court.
My hands are like cramping up for no clear reason, so I'm just trying to do something that like moves them. Because what the hell is happening right now? Ow! I'm getting like spasms. I love whatever the fuck is happening in my body.
Tell us about the scepter. I keep saying specter. Tell us about the scepter and how it was used in the detestable display of witchcraft that you all witnessed tonight.
Witness testimony 3? Question mark?
The girl was not holding the scepter in the same hand as the lantern, which means it must have been in her other hand.
Sometimes, it's not too frequently. Right now it's like in my hand. Between my pointer and thumb, in like those tendon areas. I was just getting sharp pains, but I've gotten shooting pains like up my ulna before, which was fun. And then most of the time my pain is like an ache, opposed to shooting pain, aside from something in my back, which I do have to like see if I can realign my ribs, because I think one of my ribs might be out of place.
The accused is holding a milk bucket in the court illustration. Who's to say she wasn't also holding the scepter in that hand? That milk bucket is lighter than it looks. Even Snowy could carry it, so she could have very easily held the scepter as well.
I did not see this milk bucket. Everything felt like an illusion. I should bend my knees if I'm standing up. The scepter was in her other hand, you say? Indeed, such a proposal is feasible, Sir Baker. Yes, Your Honour. It's the strangest thing. The longer this trial goes on, the more you begin to resemble a legitimate defender.
It's really interesting that he mentions a legitimate defender here, but we never actually see any. Like, I don't think any others are really mentioned. Maybe they are, but like, they're not really like a part of this, like, you know?
Huh? Well, no matter. Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
I have not stretched enough, and like, I really need to work out, but I can't work out until like all of Phoenix and the leftovers for siblings are shipped. I really don't have the time. I'm very stressed about it. I'm gonna try to do at least one more package tonight after this, but I'm actually gonna try to see if I can do like 3 or 4. We're gonna have to see. Oh, thank you, Hannah. It's bad. I mean, I'll finish in time. I will find a way to finish in time, but I am not sleeping well because like I'm dreaming about how many packages I have to do. Because I need to get the rest of Phoenix out and all of Siblings out by the 31st, and I have to finish all of the finances for Siblings, Pillars, and then half the finances for Labyrinthia and Curtain Call, all before the 31st, because I can't really do anything the 31st. I want everything done the 30th, because I am going up to see Haley and Nella, and I can do donations from there, but I cannot drop off any packages, and you also, I don't know what days of the week those are. That might be all weekend, because I think New Year's is, yeah. So I need to have every single package dropped off, I want to say by the 29th. So I have a little more. I have to basically... I'm going to set a hard date, quote unquote. I am going to say that I, for my own sanity, need to have... at max 50 packages between the 2 zines to do after Christmas. So basically I want to have basically all of them done by the 22nd. Yeah. Maybe a couple dropped off the 23rd, but you really don't want to be dropping things off. Yeah, I think so. Depending on if we do opera tomorrow. If we do opera tomorrow, I might just, like, be in there, but not watching a ton, and just constant. Same with if Tony streams, because I was kind of confused on if Tony was streaming or not tomorrow, because Tony said earlier in the week works better, but Author's only options for earlier in the week were tonight, which was already too late to pass, and tomorrow, and Tony usually streams, so I wasn't sure what was happening there. So tomorrow I'm probably gonna double. I might, after work, pop in here in a voice channel and just ship. And same with Wednesday. So, We're always looking for that steel chair. Who knows what's happening? It's fine. The accused is holding a milk bucket. Who's to say she wasn't also... Oh, let me save and then submit the... Fuck me. God damn it. Okay, hold on. I accidentally hit the wrong button. I hit load instead of save because the thing glitched. Citra's giving me issues. Give me a second. I mean, I've been talking about other stuff, so it is fine.
Objection!
We aren't that far away, but, you know. We're only, like, me. I've just been very distracted tonight because I'm very tired.
Objection!
It's not that long. I was gonna say something, I forget. Yeah, I just haven't had time for anything else. I have to finish other things. Like... Yes, we know. I haven't updated me and Haley's podcast. We have extra episodes recorded, but I can't, like, I don't have time to, yeah, this is the Kira part, so it's right before this. I don't have time to edit that. We've had a couple episodes recorded since early November that aren't up because I just don't have time to spend, like, 2 hours, sit down and do 2 hours of editing. I don't have 2 hours to sit down. Mostly because I was supposed to do a lot of packing this weekend. And as you guys know, I spent significantly longer test driving cars and driving around to car dealerships than I planned. I did not realize that most of my weekend was going to be test driving cars. This weekend was actually supposed to be like package 100 packages, except I was at the car dealership. Luckily, my parents actually found a car. They bought a car today while I was at work. Because I had test driven, so it's like I test drove like a 2021 and they ended up buying like a 2020 of whatever car it was. So I do have to pick it up on Saturday. The issue with Saturday this weekend is that that's like my family's like baking day for cooking. So I really have to try to get basically as much as humanly possible done tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday. Like, you know, it's just, I will get it done. I will get it done. If there's one thing about me, it's that I will get the shipping done. I just need to fucking do it. I need to get it done. Car dealerships suck. I hated it. My mom said that this car dealership was nice, but also they got the full quote because my mom was like, you need to tell me exactly what it's going to break down to. Like, with your fees, with the registration, with the title, with everything, because car dealerships love to list a number online and then be like, well, that number is only if you give us a trade-in and you do financing through our credit unions that we're partnered with. And also that number doesn't include the taxes, the registration, the hardware, the documentation, like the blah blah blah. So like online it'll say like this car is 22,000, or maybe it was like online the car was like 23,000, but after all of the extra stuff they added for one of them, it wasn't 23,000, it was 28,000. Hello? So this time when my mom got the call, saw that a car was up, she was just like, give me exactly like how much you think it will be, no financing. Oh, why vibes for Nikki? Sorry, I was checking mine, and since OBS changed slightly, I was like, which was that me? But it looks like it's Nikki. So, and then they went in, they drove it, they saw like the one issue they needed fixed with the sensors, and they went, we want to buy it. So because my parents had no questions and were really quick about it, I think that they were a little bit nicer. But dealerships, I am not built for like these high pressure, like, hard sells. I'm not built for it. You know, I'm not built for a high pressure sell. I'm not built for them being like, what can I do? What can I do to make this deal today?
Do not say that to me. Don't say that to me. I can't do them saying that and then going to get a manager and bringing the manager over and having the manager go, "Hi, what can we do to get your business today?" Don't. That's why my mom just made me straight up leave the other day when the guy went to go get his manager to talk about something when my parents said something else. My mom just handed me the keys and was like, "Go to the car." I would be absolutely fucked. Absolutely fucked. All right, here we go.
Hold it!
The pressure is so bad. Like, when we were driving home on Sunday I felt a little better because at least I knew which cars I liked best. Saturday was really bad, and I was actually messaging my friend Haley on the way home because I was like, I was like crying. I was so stressed I was crying. It was not good after the first day. So I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it was only like 3 days of car searching. And if you have to go hard hunting anytime soon, I'm so sorry. It's a miserable experience.
The court illustration.
Zoom and enhance.
That's right. Judging by this sketch alone, it does look possible for her to have held the scepter.
I mean, it was only 2 for me. It was technically 3 for my parents. But yeah, it's not ideal. I don't know if it's going to be different for you, Hannah. If you're getting a used car, the used car market right now is like a lot, and cars go fast. And also the interest rates are like really bad. We kept hearing different numbers, but it's not good. Like, if you need a car, you need a car, and I've been to where you live. Well, not where you live, but like, I've been to your state, and like, you kind of need a car. But like, it's something to be prepared for. The interest rates are kind of high. I was sitting there listening, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. Like, my parents are helping me out. I'll be okay. Well, that's the thing, Nikki, right? That's the thing. When you list the car as $23,000, but then you go through all the fees and it's $28,000, it's like, well, why am I not buying a new car? Like, it's still more expensive than that, but like, you're reaching a point where it's like, why am I buying a used car if it's going to be so expensive? Like, I want to buy a used car that's not going to be the most expensive thing of all time. And because we live in a hell country, you need a car for so many places. Like, oh my god, and gas is really expensive? Like, what are we doing? Why are we doing? I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so bad. Hello, Nate. Welcome. We are so distracted and we're talking about car buying because I had a terrible time this weekend.
However, if you actually try holding that thing, you'll notice how thick it is. No way she could have been holding it.
Objection!
I got a car, by the way. I mean, I don't have it yet, but I have a car.
That is nothing more than mere speculation. You cannot say for certain that she was unable to hold it.
You say speculation, I say it's fact. There's just no way Isabella could have been holding that thing. Oh my god, yeah, like, they really like try to upsell you on everything, and it's just like, I don't know how I need to figure out how to do these things without my parents, because I do not think that I would have gotten, they straight up lied to you. That's what I was saying, Nate, that's what you missed. They straight up lied to us. Like, they straight up lied to you about things, especially the price. They just put shit on the internet, and then you go in and they're like, LOL, it's $5,000 or $6,000 more than what we listed. That was a joke. Stop it! Knock it off! I hate it.
As expected, this testimony is filled with nothing but assumptions and conjecture.
Mr. Layton,
You know, Mr. Wright, There does not appear to be any usable evidence present in the court illustration.
Yeah, I agree. It does look that way. The milk bucket ended up disappearing from the scene. The fucking wolves. Could that actually be an important piece of evidence in itself? Yeah, that her. Yes, yes.
Hold it!
I'm trying to remember what this part is. You didn't see the bucket?
Indeed, naturally, there was no way of me noticing the witch before the crime occurred. My mind was placid as the most placid of placid lakes. But like the early bird on its morning hunt for the elusive worm, my senses remained vigilant.
You do realize the other witnesses have all testifying to having seen Miss Cantabella carrying that bucket, though.
And when you have journeyed as far as I have through life, you find all is but an illusion. That is, except for Lord Storyteller, of course.
Barnum looks like he's taking a nap. Witnesses' testimonies are relying on pure speculation this time. That means there has to be a hole in there somewhere.
We've got Inquisitor Barnum sweating bullets in that armor of his. I'd say he's about ready to throw it all off. I just climbed out from under the table where I've been sitting for the past 25 minutes.
I'm not even going to begin to tell you what's wrong with that statement, Maya. Okay, it must have been in her other hand. Did I press that one yet?
Hold it!
Did I press this one? Just 1 second, Ms. Mary.
What is it now? Snowy and I don't have all night, you know. Come on then, out with it.
I just have one question regarding your testimony. How exactly did you know that the bucket Miss Cantabella carrying was light enough for Snowy to carry?
Huh? Well, you see, the girl always uses the same bucket whenever she comes to buy milk from us. Naturally, I would have seen that bucket countless times before.
Maya doesn't actually. I like the idea that Maya needs a different trigger to end her like brainwashing hallucinogenic thing happening. So she doesn't really know what's happening. So she's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out down here with Luke. So NYCB is trying to charge me $50 on top of charging me $200 for the ticket on the back of one of the highest levels of the. Oh my god. Why is everything so expensive? And why are people always just adding shit and charges? I'm already giving you money. I don't have that much. Capitalism really is, just like, bad. Yeah, Maya's just happy to be here. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You've seen it countless times before. That doesn't answer my question. You specifically said the bucket is lighter than it looks. Ms. Mary, at some point tonight, you must have held that bucket yourself.
But...
Now then, please enlighten us as to exactly when you got your hands on the bucket.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about with this whole lawyer shit, but you're pretty good at this. Hey, when we get back to the bakery, you want to play this card game Luke pulled out? It's called... Oh no, I'm really good at it. I actually don't know that one.
That's why I stopped. I was like, I don't know this one. And I played a fucking lot of card games with my kids, which is why I was like, what? I don't know this one. Oh, Uno. Sorry. My brain was like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. I say that because, there is a game, I just looked it up, there is a game called Oh No, but with like the actual O spelling. But also, like, when I say that there's every weird, strange little game, there's like, the reason I just assumed it was one you knew is, if I learned anything while working with kids, It's that every card game exists. Every card game exists. There are so many niche card games. There's a shocking amount of card games out there. And some of them have the most ridiculous rules. What is the one game my kids really loved? Hold on, I can find this one. It's like pizza, cheese, goat. Taco cat, goat cheese pizza. Taco cat, goat cheese pizza. One of the kids brought that from home. They fucking loved it. I only played it a few times because I was not great at it. Taco cat, goat cheese pizza. I'll send you a Amazon link. Sorry for the... It was not actually that hard, but it does have a few rules. And I think that this should be Luke's favorite game. No, I'm kidding. But you have to do like slaps, and I think you have to make different like hand positions and stuff. So, you know. Anyway, Ace Attorney, we are not finishing this case tonight, are we? I'm so distracted. Oh, Ella's screaming. Oh yeah, no, I didn't mean to buy it, Nate. I just didn't have the store on hand. I wasn't saying people should buy it. I didn't know how else to be like, yeah, this is what Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is, because it's a specific card game. And I don't remember what the rules are.
It's true. By that time, Rob's and mugs had already been burnt to ash. And then I noticed the milk in that bucket and the girl that had been holding it in her hand.
There could be ash in that milk, girl.
The milk? Then when those two went up in a blaze, Snowy and I made a dash for the bucket. As the girl stood there looking confused, we took the milk from her to make sure it was okay.
Huh? Unbelievable. Witness, you...
Ah! Well, it was just so wasteful. The thought of all that disgusting ash falling into such precious milk.
Girl, I think the ash was already in there.
I felt I just had to protect the milk, so I took the bucket back to the farm with me.
Madam, you mean to tell the court that you took evidence from a crime scene back home with you?
Barnum needs his own head in hand pose, I think.
That explains why we were unable to locate the milk bite at the scene.
You guys all just blamed the fucking wolves. You guys just blamed the wolves. You were just like, well, probably wolves.
Oh my, you're scaring poor Snowy. Here, I brought it to the bucket with me anyway. See, I didn't even tamper with the milk.
Ma'am, you just had a bucket of milk with you? Under the table?
I'm sure you didn't. The court shall accept this milk bucket as evidence.
Great. Looks like that's one more piece of evidence for us.
Now will the gentleman with the impressive beard proceed with his testimony?
I did not see this milk bucket.
Objection!
Great.
All your testimonies have come to the same conclusion.
I actually don't know, Nikki, because okay, no, even unpasteurized milk. I wasn't sure because, like, it's very, like, raw, but it needs to be stored and handled correctly. And it can last 3 to 5 days in a refrigerator.
Sorry, I was suddenly like, I don't actually know much about, like... A bottle of goat milk can stay out at room temperature for about 4 hours, but I don't know if that's unpasteurized. I mean, yeah, that's why everyone made all their stuff into dairy. It already is dairy. Like butter and cheese and stuff like that. It stays longer than just fresh milk.
The scepter was not in her right hand with the lantern. Therefore, it must have been in her other hand that was holding the bucket.
I think it was probably pretty rare. Don't quote me. I think it was probably pretty rare pre-refrigeration to just, like, have milk that was, like, old. Like, I think you would kind of just make things with it.
However, that's not it. Not by a long shot. What do you mean? Contrary to what one of the witnesses stated, the milk bucket was in fact at the crime scene. And you'll also notice something about this bucket. Take another look at the court illustration. Something about the bucket seems a little bit odd, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, buttermilk is, like, a way of, preparing it. Like, I'm pretty sure it's fermented because, like, when you make, like, a buttermilk replacement, you just throw in some vinegar. But it's, like, you wouldn't just keep, like, the raw, fresh milk itself for more than however long. It's just, like, I think buttermilk is fermented, and then cheese you do all sorts of things to, and butter you churn it. So, like, you use all the parts of the milk, but you don't keep the milk itself just hanging out. But I wasn't sure if the rules were different if it's, like, unpasteurized. Because I know, like, for eggs, if you, like, my friend Siobhan has eggs, and she, in the U.S., for people who are not from the U.S., like, I know in Europe, they don't necessarily have to refrigerate their eggs, but, like, also if you have fresh eggs, like, from a farm or your own chickens, you don't necessarily need to refrigerate them, because I think it's something to do with the way the U.S. processes eggs, where, like, one of the barriers is really thin. I talked with my dad about this once, because, like, God, is it Japan? Like, a lot of, there's multiple Asian countries where, like, you'll see raw egg eating more because it's, like, a little bit safer. Than raw eggs here. But also the refrigeration thing. If you have your own chickens, you don't, like, you always just see people, like, in, like, old movies and stuff, just, like, you kind of put them out, like, leave them out because you didn't need to refrigerate them necessarily. So my friend Siobhan doesn't. She doesn't need to. Anyway.
This illustration was based on eyewitness accounts, so a small discrepancy or two is conceivable.
Objection!
Actually, Inquisitor Barnum, it's highly likely that the illustration is much less accurate than you think. In fact, there is a blatant contradiction present in this illustration. Admittedly, it does at first look possible that Ms. Cantabella was holding the scepter and bucket at the same time. However, if you look at the real milk bucket, that possibility goes up in smoke. Here, let's have a look at the real deal. Notice the handle? Sometimes the way the text moves is strange. It, like, slows down. That cannot be. Oh, but it is. This particular milk bucket has two pieces of wood on either side of the handle. If you were to try and hold both the scepter and this bucket, well, let's just say that'd be a challenge. To put it simply, there is no way anyone could hold both the bucket and the scepter at once.
What? That must mean clearly you have the wrong bucket.
We never lie when it comes to milk. That's the very bucket I took.
It looks like the witnesses are as surprised about this as Barnum. The defendant couldn't have been able to hold the bucket and the scepter at once. Also, we have already established that she was not holding a scepter in her right hand. Therefore, the defendant, Mrs. Spella Cantabella, was not holding a witch's scepter at any point during the incident. Ah, it looks like shit. Oh, it looks so bad.
Order, order! I said order! Just what is the meaning of this? In all my days as judge of this court, I have never heard such an argument. These are but a paltry set of words, and yet they ring with such remarkable strength.
Hopped around to the other side.
Your Honor, what you just heard was logic.
Layton was like, none of you folks know what the hell logic is. In the olden days, there was no such thing as logic. Logic was created at the turn of the 19th century, apparently. I don't know why I chose the 19th. Medieval. It could have been any time after medieval.
Logic, you say?
Ugh, shit. Garbage. Trash.
What is it with these two?
They just silenced Inquisitor Barnum with mere words.
Such foolishness. This must be some kind of witchcraft.
Wait, do you think?
Could they be witches?
Pop to the other side.
It would seem the concept of
Logic does not exist in this world. Gonna screenshot this for me real quick because it's so funny. It's just so fun. The concept of logic doesn't exist. Not at all. Me, when I'm reading something very silly, when you're reading something very silly and you're just like, I see the concept of logic does not exist in this post. Oh, thanks, Hannah.
Right, then let's take this chance to knock their case down a peg or two.
I'm worried if we keep this up, we'll all be joining a Spella in a one-way trip to the flames.
Objection!
You're right! We can't put them in there. Shit! I forgot about them! I forgot. It's all his fault, as usual. His fault. He did it. What if I just left him this big? I'm not going to. But what if I did? Shrink him down. The mask says on during sex.
A knight allows his sword to speak for him during battle. You have spoken with a sword of words.
Isn't that just a pen?
So be it. I too shall wield a blade.
Damn, Nikki! You have some shit luck tonight. I am so sorry.
What do you mean? Sir Blue Knight, there appears to be a hole in this logic of yours.
A hole?
According to the earlier testimony, it was believed the accused had the lantern hanging from her wrist by the handle. However, she supposedly dropped it, hence it being covered in mud. That's right. While that may be true, it does not necessarily mean the accused was therefore unable to use magic. It is merely a question of when she dropped the witch's scepter. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? It is very simple, my lord. The accused, while first holding the lantern and the witch's scepter, cast her magic. Then she dropped both the lantern and the scepter. Ah. The witch's scepter was dropped after the spell was cast. Of course, that must be it. Wait, let me check Grimoire.
Okay.
What say you, Sir Blue Knight? That is but a taste of the knightly knowledge of the Inquisition.
Wow, Sir Barnum cut through that baker's witchery like a hot knife through butter.
Exemplary. I expected nothing less from the hand of Barnum.
Ooh, to be able to shake that powerful hand someday. Barnum, Barnum, Barnum.
That Inquisitor isn't quite what he first appeared.
Yeah,
Sure seems that way. I thought he was a jock. Just a moment ago, it seems like he'd never even heard of logical debate. Now suddenly he's using it against us. Like, hasn't he been using it the whole time is the thing? Hasn't he been using logic? Isn't that what this is? This guy's no joke, that's for sure. Now then, most honorable witnesses, I ask that you lend us your aid once more. Yeah. I'll request something I clicked too many times. Tell us which occurred first, the dropping of the lantern or the casting of the spell. Witnesses, you may begin your testimonies. Tell this court in your own words about the sequence of events that transpired tonight. Witness testimony. About the sequence of events. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Whoosh.
I'm as sure as snowy as white. I made certain to keep my eyes peeled on that milk bucket after all. Besides, how can you be sure the lantern just fell? Because it has a little mud on it.
Eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in the accused hand when the incantation was uttered. Okay. Figures. Their testimonies are all over the place now. These 4 testimonies, they are most interesting. The witnesses all saw the same thing, and yet people's memories are evidently quite fickle. They can never be a truly reliable source. Yeah, that is why we do not use, well, we do not prioritize, generally, eyewitness testimonies in this way, because they can be very inaccurate. People's memories are not always awesome.
Well then, Professor, with enough poking and prodding, I bet we can really cause their testimonies to crumble.
Of course, we need to exploit their fickle memories to turn this thing around.
We've got this, Nick. I'm back. We'll press them so hard they won't even remember what they had for breakfast.
I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. Now, Sir Baker, you may begin your interrogation. I do like the swords. They're fun. About the sequence of events.
Hold it!
Probably Brad. We're almost out of the focaccia I made yesterday. And I'm heartbroken about it. And the thing is, I don't have time to be making bread. I might make an even less knead batch, because that one involved some kneading. I might make a no knead batch. If I make it tomorrow night, it'll be done Wednesday. Just because, like, I like having bread, but I don't have time. You guys know this. We talked about how busy I am. What do you mean?
Well, maybe the mart was already on the lantern before any of this happened. Did you ever think of that?
What was that? What is happening? Her voice is... I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Before any of this happened?
Like, maybe it's been there since last week. It did rain last week too, after all. And if that's the case, then there really isn't any point arguing about whether or not she dropped the lantern, right?
Indeed. What say you, Defender? I say, take a closer look at the lantern. You'll notice there's mud on the glass. That almost sounds like Emmy voice. Really? Oh boy.
Mud on the glass?
The lantern wouldn't be very useful with all that mud blocking out the light. Ms. Kira... I'd say your little theory regarding this lantern is muddy at best. But I could point out witnesses till the crows come home. But that wouldn't turn this testimony into anything I can use. I've got to find a lead somewhere. These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in the accursed hands when the incantation was uttered. Let me just press everyone. Sorry! The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that? Are you sure?
I say I am positively positive that I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh.
That's sploosh. Was that the sound of the lantern hitting the ground?
Indeed, but of course. Do you see?
No. But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice that the glass is shattered. Glass shattering doesn't make a sploosh sound. You specifically said you heard a sploosh? Shouldn't you have heard the sound of glass shattering when it hit the ground? I should stop making jokes.
The sound of glass shattering. No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about this. I forgot that they introduced... So it's not as good. For people who do know DJS, but not this game, the pitting them against each other is not as good in this game, but it's actually, they started testing it in this one, and I actually really like this feature. I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I really do.
I was present in an area a bit farther away from the crime scene, you see, but I have no recollection of hearing such a sound.
It's kind of fun that this isn't a feature in the first trial, because, like, in a weird way, it's like, because it's not in the regular British court system, but it does seem to be a feature in this old version of the court system, and it's also a feature in DGS, which is another version of, like, the old court system. So I think that's kind of fun. But yeah, I really like this feature. I like making people argue.
Precisely so. I'll have you know I can easily hear a dog barking across town. Do not underestimate my hearing.
I wasn't. Relax, Grandpa.
There's nothing of interest in this testimony. Will the witness take with the desk goat please proceed with her testimony?
Huh? Oh, right. You mean us? You started us, didn't you, Snowy?
So do I have to finish this section before they let me... Because there wasn't a button that was like...
Hold it!
Let me go through these and then I'll try to figure that out. It might be like you press everyone and then they introduce a new feature. But earlier, you stated that Ms. Cantabella had the lantern hanging from her wrist.
Well, not quite. We didn't say for certain. We only believed it was on her wrist.
Believed?
Yes, precisely. You know how you sniff milk when you're not quite sure if it's gone bad. Then your nose is assaulted by that foul odor you weren't expecting. Well, it's a bit like that.
Heed my words, madam. Do not make a habit of stealing for your own safety.
Barnum, calm the fuck down. You are just some fucking dude.
Ooh, you said we're sorry. Please, it's all Snowy's fault.
Oh, bother.
Anyway, we can confidently say we both saw the milk bucket, right, Precious? And as for the lantern falling, we don't know much about that, do we now, Snookums?
And we already did, Kira.
Hold it!
Okay. This is important. Are you sure you really saw that lantern?
You are but a petty baker, are you not? Is it not your place to be telling me what... It is not your place to be telling me what is important. There is but one thing of importance. Rid this town of its witches as quickly as possible.
Objection!
Hardly. I'd say this is far more important.
What?
We're trying to find out the truth here.
How absurd. That girl is a witch, I say, a witch! I would stake my entrance into the Knights of the Inquisition on it. Listen well, whelp. Yes, sir, Sir Barnum.
Many young men within the ranks of the knighthood share your level of passion. However, you let your ambition completely blind you, the same way that muddy lantern leaves one blind and helpless in the dark. What? This guy...
Yes, indeed. I would say he is quite the tough motivator.
Maya's back. What do you think, Nick? Did you notice anything fishy?
Yeah, possibly. I think there may be something I can use.
Really? Wow, I didn't hear anything special.
There was definitely something out of place about that one witness's testimony. Something I haven't noticed from any other witness so far.
It appears you may have found something, Mr. Wright.
A 4-witness cross-examination. This is something I've never done before. But then, maybe there's another way I should be tackling this.
I believe it is worth trusting that intuition, Mr. Wright.
Okay, got it. Alright, let's try pressing that old man one more time.
Blah, blah, blah. Press, 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 press.
Hold it!
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hold it!
There it is, right there. I knew I heard something strange.
Huh? But old Greybeard didn't say anything weird. Gandalf over here is fine.
Maya, it's not the old guy that said something weird. It's the person next to him.
Next to him?
Look there, Professor. The goat lady. She looks really deep in thought. It would seem. She has noticed something odd about this elderly gentleman's testimony.
Ah. That's right. These cross-examinations have 4 witnesses. Hey, Nick. It looks like we're not the only ones paying attention to these testimonies.
You're right. Which means if they're all listening to each other's testimonies...
Correct, Mr. Wright. Each witness is fully aware of themselves and their own actions when in the middle of their own testimonies. However, it is while listening to the testimonies of others that the witnesses may sometimes reveal the most valuable information.
I see. It's habitual. They can't tell they're doing it, but I can. And I'm going to use it to turn the tide back in our favor.
It's a little interesting because, like, I mean, it's not the same at all. Sorry, I was fixing my chair. It's not the same at all, but, like, this idea that it's something that these people are doing that they can't really, like, that it's kind of like an instinctual thing. It's a little bit similar. Again, not exactly the same because we're not, like, finding it or anything, and it's not, like, whatever magic thing is going on with Trucy and Apollo, but it's kind of a little bit similar. Not entirely, but it's got a similar vibe to me of, like, someone doing something to signal that they know something more, you know?
In fact, I do believe I may have spotted our first opening in which to test this new technique. Mr. Wright, could I draw your attention to
The touch screen. Sorry, I'm angling my screen because my neck hurts a little. The touch screen? What the fuck are you talking about? God damn it.
What are you waiting for, Nick? Let's give it a shot. Let's end this tutorial. How about we try questioning the goat lady next to old Greybeard?
Okay, all I have to do is blah, 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 blah. Sound of glass shattering. No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift.
Hang on!
Hang on!
Excuse me, Ms. Mary.
Who? Do you mean us? But Snowy and I have nothing left to say.
I knew it. I caught her completely by surprise. Mr. Wordsmith just gave his testimony. He told us all about the sound he heard when the lantern fell to the ground. Mr. Wordsmith didn't seem too sure, but I wonder if you might happen to have something to say about this.
Well, that's... You that all right, Sir Barnum? May we answer the question?
Do what you will, madam. There's no need for formalities.
Well, we'll try and explain, won't we, Snowy? The truth is we did hear something. That is to say, we heard the sound of the lantern's glass shattering. We're sure of it. It was frighteningly loud. It quite startled us, didn't it, Snowy dear? I looked in the direction of the sound, but I couldn't see anything, let alone the girl or those two thieves. It was a tad dark, after all.
When the glass shattered, the flame inside must have gone out, hence she could not see them. That seems to be the gist of it.
Then, as I peered into the darkness, I heard it.
You heard it? What did you hear exactly?
You know that? I heard the incantation for the spell Ignace.
What did you just say?
No, hold it right there, witness.
Yes, my lord.
The glass shattered when the lantern fell. Then after that, you heard the incantation for the spell Ignace. Do you swear to this court that this is without a doubt correct?
Yes. Maybe, I think.
How about my testimony? What of my oratorical observation that that blasted smell Ignace occurred first? Then the lantern plummeted to the ground.
I heard no such thing. There was no sound of shattering glass.
Absurd! Simply absurd. The lantern found glass shattered. That does not change the very fact that this girl is a witch.
Objection!
I hate to disappoint you, but that's not quite the case. In fact, this testimony changes things a lot. Wouldn't you agree, Inquisitor Barnum?
What is the meaning of this?
Let's go over what we know so far. In order for a witch to use any magic, they must be holding a witch's scepter. And yet, none of the four witnesses saw the defendant holding a scepter of any kind.
That's because the scepter was made to disappear with the spell Demir, correct?
At the time of the crime, the two victims grabbed Ms. Cantabella's arm, causing her to drop the lantern on the ground. If, at the time, she was in fact holding an invisible scepter, then the scepter must have fallen when she dropped the lantern. Now, let's say, hypothetically, that Ms. Cantabella really is a witch. In order to use any magic, she would have had to recite the spell before dropping the scepter. However, as our witness, Ms. Mary, has just stated in her testimony, she heard the incantation for Ignace after hearing the lantern's glass shatter.
Ooh!
You do all understand what that means, don't you? It means that Ms. Cantabella, the supposed witch you've locked up, could not possibly have cast any magic. Therefore, the defendant, Espella Cantabella, is clearly in no way, shape, or form a witch.
What?
There he goes. Goodbye. Terrible lighting.
Such frivolity? Do you realize what you're insinuating? Do you really think she's not a witch?
Such nonsense. Did any of you even listen to my testimony? We did, but you're wrong. There was no glass shattering. Are you calling me a liar, missy? You can't even see the mud on the lantern when it was plain as day.
What ridiculous claims, all of you.
Oh, hush. Take your little toy sword and go back to playing pretend, Sir Knight.
Thanks, Barnum.
Witness, this is a court of law, not a playground. Must I remind you of the importance of these proceedings? Witches and their magic threaten our fair town of Labyrinthia. Your words here today could decide the fate of every single citizen within our walls. Do you understand?
As such, I expect each of you to take your roles seriously and testify honestly about what you saw. In all my days as judge of this court, I have never seen such behavior. Behavior that leaves a cloud of doubt over the credibility of each of your testimonies. Indeed, my lord, quite the miserable set of witnesses, this lot. Up. There we go.
I see. It would appear this trial has come to a sudden halt.
Huh? So that must mean...
Quite right. It means you have won this trial, Mr. Wright.
We've won? I can hardly believe the situation we have found ourselves in. I did not anticipate this trial ending with such a strange turn of events. But due to the witnesses' dubious credibility, I can see no reason to continue. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? As you wish, my lord.
What is going on?
They're actually going to let this witch run free through the town.
Curses, if it weren't for that witch and her friends.
Barnum! Barnum! That looks like ass.
Hold it!
This fucking guy.
Wait a blooming second. This trial ain't even close to being over.
Some fucking dude.
Not before I take the stand to testify.
Some fucking guy.
Order! Order! Who is this buffoon?
Buffoon Central.
Behold! Who am I, you ask? Who am I? Why? I'm the man that's gonna single-handedly save this trial. I'm the fifth witness.
Say what?
Huh? What?
Even Barnum didn't see this one coming.
Just as I thought, this trial was going down the drain before I got here. Okay, you lot, assemble. We need a strategy meeting ASAP.
That is not how law works. You don't get to strategize with the other witnesses. The whole point is you don't talk to each other, so you can't make sure your stories line up.
I say, who are you?
Thank goodness you showed up. We can't give up now, everyone.
It has come down to this. To arms, everyone. We shall do battle against that baker and that hat seller.
Like, that's just not how this works, you know? Like, you don't just get to, like, all, like, gang up together, like, with a strategy. This isn't how law works. I guess this is fake old-timey fantasy world. But, you know.
I can't believe this. What the heck is going on?
Truly fascinating. It seems a new witness has taken the stand. What's more, he appears to be quite the formidable witness.
Like, this isn't allowed.
Well, I guess.
This is just not allowed. You guys can't be doing this.
This trial is still far from over.
This fucking sheep back here, or goat, fucking Snowy. To be continued, finally, a stopping point. I feel like I'm dying a little bit. Alright. Thank you so much for coming. Because we're done now. Not saving for over 2 hours is maybe not the smartest move, but I did what I did. Sorry, it's gonna make me... There we go. Thursday I will be playing Nancy Drew, hopefully finishing the everything. And then Friday I suspect I will not be streaming. I think I'm gonna take Friday off. Ronnie is still in finals, and I think we're gonna watch something in the server. And I am going to take that time instead of streaming to just get packages done. So, because I want to get like well over 100 out this week, hopefully closer to 2. I really need to get packages out. So thank you for understanding. Thank you for coming. Sorry it was a little late, so a little shorter. But thank you for coming. I love playing this game. We do have to decide what we're gonna do after this on Mondays, because I haven't decided. I have a few options that we can talk about when we actually get there. But like, I have a bunch of games, so when we get like over halfway through, we can try to start deciding what we want to play next. All right, I'm gonna go to bed. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go do maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 packages. We're gonna see what happens. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna see how many more I can do before 1. Before 1. That's gonna be my cutoff time for tonight. But thank you all. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.